So what I'm doing today is I'm actually removing the bumper off the ATS V. I got to get to this one coolant hose that I cut for the tap out bleed kit when I first bought the vehicle. There's now a coolant reservoir that actually just hangs out right here. Don't have to worry about air getting into the system. Also gets rid of this leaky valve. That's another common issue on these. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Basically, first thing first, you remove this black piece. I've already removed it. There's little push tabs in each one of these little areas here. You remove this. So the coolant hose has been replaced. And it runs down here. It's highly recommended to get a pair of these hose clamp pliers. It's almost impossible to get these things off without them. Well, now that this is all back to factory, now I'm going to start working on installing the reservoir tank from Caddy issues. You need to disconnect this main power. This is where it actually hangs off of. Fits pretty well. Now the next piece will be taking off this hose, which is the top hose actually right here. We'll be removing that to actually flip it, cut it, install the tank, attach it to this, and we shouldn't be able to install the tank, and that should be it for the install. Alright, so now we're going to remove this. Clamp's been removed. Popped out. It runs underneath here, right next to the hose that I just removed. What we're going to do is there is a hose clamp down here. We're going to go ahead and hit this. Wiggle that out of the way. A little bit of coolant still left in there. That's going to be fun to clean up. Wiggle this guy out. I'm going to go ahead and throw some rags underneath this. Catch any fluid that might come out. This is a 12 millimeter. 12 millimeter socket. So this hose originally goes down like this. There's another bend here. I bought this pipe cutter recommended by Daddy Issues to actually cut this hose, and this was relatively inexpensive. Or sorry, it was actually like this. And this was like this. So I cut it here just for the initial cut. Flipped over, cut this portion off as well. So that's gone. Using this, then you'll just have to fit this however you think is best with your car. Every car might be a little bit different. I'm going to go ahead and attach this here. Now to get the reservoir in place, what we're going to want to do, this is going to be a little hard to see we've got to get this out of the way. We need to put some lubricant in here. They recommend dish soap in the install instructions. Use a little silicone spray. Put just a little bit of lubricant there. Get the reservoir in place. You're just gonna have to kind of jimmy this guy in there. Onto the coolant pump. Once that's in place, you feel like this is mounted okay. This is kind of pinching into that coolant hose actually. Then we need to worry about this one. So, in order for this, looks like we're gonna have to cut a little bit more off of this hose. This is where I want to run it. So I'm gonna have to cut so then it should fit here. As you can see, might need to cut a little bit more for this to fit better. So you've got a kink in this hose. This thing back off. Get the sheathing back on here. Make sure we get this hose clamp as well. Dialing up my own recipe here, which is a little water. Refill the deck's cool. So wrapped up the installation. Probably total time was about 40 minutes to an hour, and that's including watching the videos that Caddy Issues has out there. They're pretty good, as well as reading the manual twice and the instructions to install it. Make sure I cut the hose correctly. You don't want to have to cut it in the wrong place and then have to buy another one. So definitely, it's been a great experience. Ordering quick, easy. Yes, you can do the do-it-yourself kit. I was actually one of the people that posted on the Caddy forums about all the parts you could buy to build your own kit. But some of the hoses aren't molded, so that's another thing that could cause an issue down the road. And really, overall, this kit is not hard to install. So if you're just your regular person that does oil changes, you can refill coolant, which I absolutely hate dealing with coolant, but just one of those things you have to do. One thing with buying this kit is that all the hoses are molded, they're crimped on. It's a very nice setup, and you get to reuse one of your stock hoses, so really you don't have to replace that. I replaced my bottom hose because I was worried about potential leaks down the road. I want to do the job once, not twice, especially when it comes into taking the bumper off. And I have a separate video about how to remove the bumper. It's actually not that hard. You just got to make sure you remove all the right bolts, which I almost didn't before I started yanking on the bumper to pull it off. Very simple, straightforward. Highly recommend this kit. And I'm just going to enjoy the car. So appreciate you watching the video. Click like, subscribe, and appreciate it.